How are you today, Storm?
I'm doing all right. You?
Marvellous, splendid, grand.
Good. I haven't seen you for a while since your last release.
Yeah, I've just been, getting the head to the ground, working, just trying to keep going, build more and more music, start building my following a little bit more, and just cracking on, really. But yeah,
busy schedule. I mean, that's good for a person like obviously constantly doing music, because I'm excited to see what you put out there, and you've given me something really good. It's going to be released on Friday.
Friday.
There we go.
26th of the 1st, in case this comes out after then. So maybe it's out already.
No, I'm aiming to get it out tonight.
Oh really?
So, yeah.
That's impressive.
So I'll probably just sit there and edit for like a few hours, and then
yeah.
It'll be out on the YouTube.
Sick.
Yeah. Last time you were obviously doing all that release on our radio station instead of doing it as an interview, but I think it was a better idea, obviously for me, that I've done TV, to get you out there officially, and have people know more about you. So why don't we start out with an introduction about you?
Yeah, so I'm Sigs, short for Cigarettes and Scratchcards. I'm a poet, a producer, a DJ, an audio engineer based in Manchester. I run my own studio. I'm just trying to get out there, get my music out there, and spread a positive message. I think there's so many songs and so many genres at the minute that are focusing on negative things, whereas I'd like to focus on the negative things that we can change collectively as a human race.
Yeah, amazing. Honestly, I think your kind of music is very different from a lot of people, and I personally love it, and I know that I've got friends that have shown too that was like, oh wow, this is like quite fresh. I've not seen something like that, and you always bring out a message, which is I think is something that is like a lot of artists probably have to learn from, because as you were saying earlier, a lot of music nowadays we're like just focus on guns, drugs, violence, sex. Like that's like quite a generic thing that people go for when they make music. But with you go for a deeper meaning. You talk about issues and stuff, which is, I think, very, very exciting stuff to do.
Of course, and not to discredit people that are talking about those themes, because that's the background that they do come from. But to me, like you say, it's become very generic, and it's almost become a copy and pasted formula where people see someone else's success and they're like, right, this has worked for this person, I must also do this to be successful. But I think it's very important to be authentic to yourself and to your message and what you want to put out into the world at the end of the day, because this is going to be here for much longer after I'm gone.
Yep.
And that's the important thing to remember.
Yep, that's really, really good. Right, so the last time you have came over, obviously, to bring your new release at that time, which is 1984.
Yes.
You have talked about quite a few things on the radio show, but obviously, I think, why not remind people to go and listen to it again and again? Why not? So, I'm going to ask a little bit about the concept for 1984. So where did it come from?
So 1984 to me is quite a symbolic piece to my own personal journey in life and, my trials and tribulations. Growing up in Wigan, George Orwell, the author of 1984, the novel, he actually resided in Wigan for a couple of years. And to me, it was about taking these ideas that someone had created in my hometown and putting my 2 pence onto it, and how it's applicable in the 21st century. And how a lot of these things that were written close to 100 years ago, they actually still, they're happening. Government control happens, population control happens, mind control happens. And it was important for me at that time to get all this stuff out of my mind that I wanted to talk about and that maybe troubled me, I'd had sleepless nights over, and present my message and tell people how I felt about these things, and just sort of bring awareness to matters, because there's so many people that are going through life every single day not looking at the bigger picture of things, and to me that is absolutely terrifying. So 1984 to me, it's a social observation piece more than anything. And I think social observation is very important, because if we don't document what's going on in society and what's happening amongst our peers, then we're doomed to repeat mistakes that we have already historically made.
Yeah. Would you say your music, the new release and the music that you're going to release on Friday, obviously, do they have any connection with each other, or is there a similar background to the concept or story?
So I like to break my life down into eras. I know that sounds a little bit weird.
Not really, to be fair. I like that.
I love her, but she does my fucking head in. That's the name, but we can abbreviate it. Still quite long. That was written in the same era as 1984, where I was in cahoots with certain people, personal relationships, had different people into what they have now. My entire social community was different. So yeah, I'd like to think that they both have very similar messages and themes. And in that time period, I was on that sort of post-punk vibe where I'm making tunes that are not necessarily like the hip-hop movement that I've come from in terms of producing, but take the poetic nature of that and talk about a bigger picture sort of theme or concept.
Yeah. That's really, really good, to be fair. Especially, I think, personally, that's very fresh to hear in the music industry. So, can talk a little bit about this new song that's coming out that is so exciting. I personally, obviously, it's not released yet, but I personally have the honour to watch it first, and it blew my mind. I love the visuals first.
Yeah, the visuals crazy. Got a shout
so
out.
Good.
Shout out Kafka Court who did it, and shout out to Chic. It's important to have a team around you, and it's important to have people that share synergy and understand what your message actually is. And I've listened to that song hundreds of times. Obviously, I produced, mixed, recorded, mastered it all myself. And I wouldn't say I was getting bored of it, but it was on my head all the time. And I saw that music video for the first time the other day, and I was like, wow.
It was so good. The lighting, the effects, crazy. The whole visual. It's like an experience. Like, it's like you indulge in that kind of like visualness that it comes all together, especially when it's all edited and cut together. That's when I got a bit overwhelmed watching it. I was like, wow, this is really, really well produced. It's like, for a music video, it could be a film. It could go on to be a film.
That's the thing, I feel like there has to be a duality between the visuals and the audio itself. And, you said it's like a film. That's what we're striving to do.
Yeah.
We're striving to make, cinematic things, and supplementing each thing with the other thing. So many people, the same as I was talking about earlier, the copy and pasted formula. How many times have people just got all the man behind them in a car park, just giving gun fingers or wearing ballies? It takes influence from that. A lot of people are masked up and it touches on the themes of the song, but it's done in a different way. And, I'm thrilled. And to be honest, when I saw it for the first time, I was overwhelmed too. I was like, wow, what?
Well, so what is the inspiration of this new song then? Like, where did the first initial idea came from?
Right, so the themes of the song, I was sat in the studio with my boy Roscoe, shout out Roscoe, and I just had the guitar in my hand and I was making riffs, doing whatever, and I just threw it all together. And in my head at the time, I was like, I love her, but she does my fucking head in. It was about a person at first. And then Roscoe was laughing. He was like, yeah, that's jokes. But then as the theme developed and as the storytelling aspect of it developed, I realised, I can make this into a metaphor. Her doesn't necessarily have to represent a person as much as the original writing was about a single person. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to the system that we live in and the society in which we live in as a her, and, almost personify that in that piece of art. So I was writing about that, and I was writing about, the themes and concepts of population control, the way that the government's been running our lives, the way that... So one of my lyrics in it is, obviously the hook's, I love her, but she does my fucking head in. But my opening line to the second verse is, I love how everybody loves her with blind obedience. I love how everybody loves her without an appearance. And that's symbolic of the fact that people are in love with this system. People are in love with getting a Greggs on the way to work and having 100 Starbucks coffees and getting the newest iPhone and supporting a political movement that makes them feel like they're part of something bigger when in reality they're just spouting hatred. I think it's important to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
That's what the song is.
Amazing. So why don't you tell people how to wait for this release? Because I'm obviously waiting. Where can we see it? Where can we hear it?
Yeah, so the visuals will be landing on my YouTube channel. Just type in Cigarettes and Scratchcards on YouTube and I should come up. Same goes for Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, all them platforms, SoundCloud, wherever. You can find me at Instagram at Sigs with 6 S's if you want to learn about what's happening, see what I'm up to. And yeah, it's going to be out this Friday. I love Butch Does My Fucking Head In, Cigarettes and Scratchcards, YouTube channel, 6 o'clock, be there.
Lovely. And very exciting stuff. And I'll see you again sometime soon with the
Of
next
course,
release. Yeah?
Of course.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your time.